Thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Joni Girardi. I'm DataSelf's founder and CEO. And what I'm going to be covering in the next 30 minutes is solving Excel hell in data house divided using advanced analytics. The data house divided, it's something that works better in the US. I know many of you are in Canada, maybe don't relate too much with the political picture, but anyhow, it's just a way to talk about data silos. So let me get along here and move forward with my PowerPoint first. So the first good news is companies, you have plenty of data in your business for better decision-making process. That's the good news. You're capturing the data. And what you're using for your data, you're using Sage for your ERP and maybe also for your CRM. Some companies use, Salesforce. You probably have Excel all over the place with some piece of the data. You might have, HubSpot, Shopify, Magento, Google Analytics, Azure. I mean, there's a lot of data sources or data silos that are capturing your business, your transactions, your interaction with your clients, with the banks, with government, everything. There's a lot of data silos out there. And pretty much here we have a short picture of, we call the data silos. DataSelf, we have more than 20 different data silos that capture our business. Good news. The bad news is this creates what we call the data house divided. If you need to see data, you have to go to different systems. You have to have the credentials. You have to know where the report is. You need to know how to customize the report. It's very complex. Sometimes the answer to your questions as a business is between the silos. And how can you find data between the silos? So what most companies do with this scenario is use Excel. Excel is a great tool. Most companies own it. They know the basics and they can start bringing the data together in Excel. Export Excel data from Sage and from your CRM and from your Google Analytics and from your payroll company. But almost inevitably, in the long run, as this Excel platform, or maybe you're using Crystal or reporting service, as you start to evolve it, eventually you get into what we call the Excel hell. There's nothing wrong with Excel. It's just a tool per se. You can have reports that are not refreshed. Maybe there's some mistakes in the Excel file. Nobody saw it. People make decisions based on incorrect information, outdated information. Sometimes Excel crashes. It can be slow. There's a lot of issues when you use Excel alone with you as a reporting tool. And no matter if you add some add-ons to Excel, that's kind of a band-aid. You really need to go into the next level to address the data house divided in the Excel hell. How do we do it? So now is our approach. Pretty much we take your data silos, Sage, Google Analytics, HubSpot, any data silo. We use an ETL tool, extraction, transformation loading tool. We use data warehousing behind the scenes. And as a user tool, Excel is an option. So once you use Excel out of a data warehouse, a lot of issues of Excel become solved. But we also bring tools like Tableau and Power BI, which are amazing tools for easy assessment and data analysis. Overall, easy to deploy and very inexpensive to get DataSelf up and running. Let me show in practical terms how is the user experience of DataSelf. So I'm going to take the role of DataSelf has been deployed in your system. In your management are going to start looking at DataSelf. I'm going to show about the data house united, how we bring the data together, no matter where the data comes from. I'm going to show natural language query, which is building reports using plain English. And I'm going to show some out-of-the-box solutions. Later today, we have a session to show how to customize DataSelf extensively. But right now, the user experience is for business people, people who do not have time to learn complicated reporting tools, and how they become independent with DataSelf. So now I'm switching gears and I'm showing my portal where a user, a business user, in this example, let's say the CFO or maybe the CEO, a person who have access to the main data silos, how we bring them together. Pretty much you can have like a home button. Your home button can be a dashboard or can be a navigation screen like this one. In this one, I'm showing here information from Sage, so my shipped sales. I have market information, data comes from Salesforce. If I have e-commerce, Shopify, Magento, whatever you have, maybe Amazon Marketplace, HubSpot, Google Analytics, more Sage information, and maybe payroll. Maybe in Canada, guys don't use paychecks, would be something else. The point is, as a decision maker, the people who maintain the solution, they will give each person access to the data silos that they need to. They don't need to log into, Google Analytics. They don't need to have credentials. It doesn't matter. Behind the scenes, we will be bringing your data from the different data silos into DataSelf. And as a user, as a business user, when they log to DataSelf, I'll have access to my own reports and dashboards that I have access to. Let's say if I were only a marketing person, maybe I would only have this section, nothing else, because security will control what each user would have access to. Now, what I'm going to show you next is kind of the out-of-the-box solution that is available as soon as we deploy DataSelf. And I'm going to start with the natural language query. What is natural language query? It's the ability to build reports from scratch using plain English, like searching the internet. However, the source of your data is whatever is in DataSelf. Again, Sage, Salesforce.com, whatever it is in DataSelf becomes your source of data. And the result to your questions is an instant and accurate report answering that question. Right now, I am connected to the sales data from Sage. And let's say I'm the VP of sales and I want to see sales by salesperson in 2020. So what I do is I press sales by salesperson in 2020. I ask a question. The tool gives me hits, what it understood. It finds the parameters and tell me which of the hits you want to go for. Just like searching on Bing or Google, I select the first one, which is the right answer to my question, and instantly, accurately, a new report is built with the answer to that question. So by salesperson, I'm seeing sales, in this case, in a descending order in 2020. It looks to be magic. It's not. It's technology. It's called natural language query using artificial intelligence and machine learning to come up with the answers. And let me show a few more examples. What if I want to break down by month? I press by month. The tool makes sense. I choose what is the right answer, click it. And now what I have in 2020, by month, I have sales by salesperson using a line chart. Again, just get the answer to your questions. Maybe I'm from the finance department and I want to see numbers by the penny. Sure, I can go over here and select, let's say, text table. And now I have something like an Excel. Many of our clients, they use this to find their data, and sometimes they want to export to, let's say, Excel or PDF. Sure, I can select some data points. Maybe in this case, I only want to see January, and I tell the tool, show me this data, and actually show me every single transaction behind the scenes, everything that aggregated got to the January sales by salesperson. And now I can download this data to Excel. There it is. In a few clicks, using natural language, I was able to find some data points, export to Excel, and then run with it. My last example with natural language query is, I'm going to show here, I'm going to see top 10 customers by sales in April 2020. Now, a more elaborate question. Again, the tool tried to understand the question, found some hits. I choose the right one. And again, by customer, it shows me sales in a descending order in April 2020, where the blue ones are my top 10 and the tool decided to give me everyone else and show it in gray. Natural language query is like searching the internet. Many questions will be answered instantly and accurately, but like on the internet, some questions will still require people who have built reports and dashboards that are more elaborate to answer more elaborate questions. All highly customized, but what I'm going to show you next is some of the reports and dashboards available out of the box for Sage 300 and other Sage products as a starting point. So I'm going to cover a little bit of sales. I'm going to show a little bit of receivables, cash flow, and financials today. I could cover any area, but today I'm going to cover those. So first, I'm going to click on the year-over-year sales. For sales-driven organizations, this dashboard is very insightful and very dynamic. Right now, I'm looking sales in blue, dark blue, this year, lighter blue, last year, the variance. I see by period, and again, dark blue this year, light blue last year. I see sales by region or state or city or whatever you have territory-wise. Bubbles are sales this year. Black is growing since last year. Red is declining. So let's say Texas, in my example, is growing 14% on a year-to-date basis. I see by customer last year, this year in variance. By product, again, last year, this year in variance. And I can easily change the periods. Hey, I want to see the whole period for 2019. I press apply. Now 2019, I have the whole year. 2020, I only have in my sample database through June. So easy to change the periods. Now, when I'm looking at this dashboard, I might look at a customer, like, this customer and this customer are declining sales since last year to date. Why is that? If I choose any data point, I'm going to choose this customer and click here. What happens is the whole dashboard changes to show data for this customer, trend analysis, total, ship to, and details. And if I choose actually those two customers, the two customers with the decline, it shows me the combination of data for those two customers. Very interactive. And by the way, if you're looking at this data here, and you actually want to see the transaction details, invoice number, invoice date, and everything else, I can choose show details. And now what we'll have at the bottom of this dashboard, you have every single transaction detail sold to those two customers in these periods. You can easily export this to Excel and do more analytics. The idea is, as a business person, give them a view about the big picture, show the outliers, things that are great, things that are not great, that are bad, and let them drill down very easily to make better decisions. When you give smart people access to a tool like this, that they can do this analysis anytime, anywhere, even in mobile devices, they will make better and more informed decisions. They'll grow their business. They're going to make you much more successful. How this looks on a mobile device, just to give an idea, if I were to look at that dashboard on a smartphone, this is kind of simulating the look in a smartphone. So you can see this whole dashboard in a vertical instead of being on a horizontal approach. So all these dashboards, they are also easy to see in mobile devices. Just running through some other examples, we have dashboards like this one showing your hot customers or products or salespeople, which ones are the top ones by sales, which ones are growing the most one period to another. And you just change the period and you see who is the top in the latest period and who's growing the most since the prior period. Maybe you don't care about customers, you care about products. Sure, you just come over here and you choose product instead. And now this dashboard will be showing my products instead of my customers. Easy for business people to customize, reports are automatically refreshed, push to the user the ability to make this kind of changes. So we have the hot, we have the cold. The cold is the opposite, is who is declining in sales the most or who are no longer buying, also available out of the box. This dashboard here for some businesses is super insightful. We call the Pareto. In this case, it's showing my products. What I have here in the center panel is my gross profit in a descending order by product. And then I see my sales. And then in blue are the products that aggregate 80% of my gross profit. And in red are the top 20% of my gross profit. The question is why some products that have a lot of sales are so unprofitable? Sometimes the answer to this question can be enlightening. Maybe you want to see this from a customer standpoint. Sure, I choose customer now, and now what I'm seeing is by customer profitability in a descending order, and why these customers are profitable, why these customers are so not as profitable. These are the questions we want your management to discuss, to be aware, and hopefully focus your resources in what matters the most. Let me go back here and show some other dashboards. The Daily Flash, super popular dashboard as well. The Daily Flash is pretty much looking at a certain date, like yesterday. What happened yesterday? How are your sales, your cost of sales, your gross profit, quantity sold? Then you can see by ship to, by customer, by salesperson, by product, and all the details. Sometimes management having this perspective, they can see some problems happening and they can quickly act on the problem before the problem grows too big, or if an opportunity is happening and management should be aware of, these dashboards will help these people be on top of those initiatives. So I cover a little bit of the sales reports out of the box. I'm going to show a little bit of something outside like receivables. Some businesses receivables is very important, and sometimes from management keeping track of things that are kind of falling behind is critical, and that can be a little bit time consuming. This dashboard here shows the total in open receivables by aging bucket. And this colored legend is used across the whole dashboard. So this is where the money is coming from. This is showing sales by due date. Today is this here. So green is current, and these are old invoices by salesperson, by customer, and all the details. And if this was my real data, I would see, oh my God, this customer has a lot of old past due invoices. If I click on the customer, the whole dashboard changes to focus on only this customer's data point across the rest of the widgets. Very informative and very helpful. Maybe as a user, I actually want to receive this dashboard in my inbox once a month, every week, every day. Do I need to call someone else to send this email to me automatically? The report distribution? No. As a user or as an admin person, I can click the subscribe button. Security controls who can do this, but if you give this power to a user, I can click subscribe. I can say send it to me and send it to, I don't know, send it to Taylor as well. So myself and Taylor, I'm going to be receiving this particular view, or I can receive the whole workbook. So you have to send financials to people, a bunch of workbooks, different reports and dashboards on an ongoing basis. You can define this workbook and just send the whole workbook to your board member, for instance. I'm going to be sending as a PDF. I can call an email subject, whatever I want, and I say how often I want to receive it. I'm going to say I want to receive weekly on Fridays, 4 p.m. Pacific. I click subscribe. That's it. Hands off. Now moving forward, this email will come straight to my inbox and to Taylor's as well. Cash flow projection. We also can help you look at your inbound money, your outbound money, put on a chart to see what's going on. And then here are all the details of the inbound and outbound money. And if you see something wrong, let's say, oh, something exciting, oh, what's happening on this day? I can choose this day on the chart, and automatically the details will be filtered only to show what happened at the data point. So again, your CFO, people who are handling your cash flow, they can quickly pinpoint opportunities and threats and maximize your cash flow management. My last dashboard to show financials, so we can look in your P&L, your balance sheet, your metrics, put in flashy, insightful charts, and let decision makers be a lot more self-sufficient. All these reports and dashboards, they become automatically refreshed, automatically distributed. A lot of the manual processes people use in Excel, that the data is not current, the Excel crashed, Excel formula was broken, become things done behind the scenes automatically, so people can focus on data analysis and not on overhead of using other Excel reporting tools. I hope you have found the demo informative. Let me give you some other data points. Everything that I showed you today is available out of the box. So if you need DataSelf for Sage 300, pretty much what I showed will be available out of the box. It takes 30 minutes to deploy the solution from scratch. Very simple, very, very quick. The pricing starts at $299 per month, US dollar. For this user group, we have a special of a 14-day free trial. So if you're interested, please send us a request through BAASS because it's limited availability. And if you want to see some more information about what I showed you, you can go to dataself.com. So go to our website, dataself.com, click on Sage, pick your Sage product like Sage 300, and here you can see more information, videos, pricing, and whatnot. So feel free. There's some also screenshots of what's included out of the box, pricing, and other details. So feel free to learn more using the website. In a nutshell, what value we bring to the table? Data silo consolidation, we call the data house united. All your data silos can be brought together in DataSelf. There is an extensive library of reports and dashboards available on day one. So it's not like a blank sheet. There's a lot of insightful reports and dashboards for your team. It's super easy to customize. We're going to have a session later today at 2:50 p.m. So if you want to learn more, or if you want to tell your consultants to join that session to learn the details of customization, that will be a good insight. And usually we tell whatever is mechanical in your reporting tasks, we can automate them. We do not automate human intelligence. Thank God, we don't automate human intelligence. But data manipulation, data extraction, filter reports, looking at security, distribute reports, a lot of those tasks can be completely automated by our data warehousing framework and using tools like Tableau and Power BI. With that in mind, I'm going to open for questions. If you have questions, please use the go to meeting or go to webinar panel.
Yes.
There you go.
So just as the slide is showing, there is a little question. You can type them into there and we will get them answered. I do have a question here. How much training is required to learn how to use DataSelf?
Good question. So training depends. Like I showed you before, there are many business users that will be just doing natural language query, and they will get a lot of their questions just by typing in. So if you know English, you've already been trained. Many business users will only use the reports and dashboards that are pre-configured or you have customized for them. And for those users to learn the basics of navigation that I showed in this presentation, pretty much like a 15-minute tour, you just point and click, you change the filters, users will be able to become self-sufficient. Now, to build reports and dashboards, to be fully functional in extracting data out of your Sage and other data silos, bringing it to the front end and customizing, there are different layers of training. Typically 8 hours of training is what is required to cover the report designer. In the backend tool, if you have already expertise pulling data out of Sage 300, with another 12, 16 hours of training, you can also learn the backend, the data warehousing functionality. So end users, easy, fast to become self-sufficient. Report designers, about 8 hours of training. In data warehousing people, typically 12, 16 hours to become pretty self-sufficient.
And I have time for one more question. What is the process to get your solution deployed?
Good question. So actually our session at 2:50 will cover this in more detail, but pretty much you order DataSelf through BAASS or through our website. If you go to our website, we will pull BAASS into the process, but then we need to install a data extracting tool in your network. That's what it takes, about 30 minutes. It's a very light application. You control it, we install it. It might take some time to pull the data from your on-site system to the cloud, minutes, hours. If you have a lot of data, it can be even days. But the initial deployment takes some time to bring the data up, and once that is refreshed on an ongoing basis, is fast. So deployment is about 30 minutes of labor, a little bit of time to bring the data up, and then after that, automatically this will be refreshed. So it's a fairly straightforward process.
Thank you very much for that, Joni. I do hope that was able to answer the questions for those attendees who did send those in. Again, Joni, thank you so much for presenting with us this session. We will be taking a break for about 8 minutes. Please do rejoin us at 1:40 for our next session, which is going to be Wise Planner on this track. Or if you'd like to learn about Sage Intelligence visualization with Power BI, you can head over to track 1. Thank you so much.
Thank you, appreciate it. Guys, have a good day. See you later, actually, for some of you.